Oakley dokley, good evening heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C. So, I did a bunch of preparation before this stream, fixing in my mind what we were going to do, so I definitely have that ready to go. So yeah, those things that we're going to be working on today are paths and template packing. So let me just make a note of these people, just to kind of remind me. So paths. I think for this we need to add a new collation buffer. So collation buffers need to contain an additional includes buffer. One for projects, one for the player page, one for the contents page. Additionally, we need to integrate the index page into a template. Sorry, we need to integrate the like the contents list into a template. So that is going to be the third thing. Integrate the contents. It's actually a DL, isn't it? The contents DL into the template. So it's actually write out the into a collation buffer. Collation buffers index or something. To conditionally with its template. And the second thing here is going to be template packing. So what this means is basically change the validate template to encode the template in such a way that integration can be done. Integration can happen without needing to like seek through the file, really. Seek through the original. Seek through the template car by car. Right, and I think if that doesn't make sense yet, hopefully it will at some point. One for the player page, one for the contents page. And then once we've got this template packing, the integration of the index page should be dead simple. So that is basically the order for the day. So let's get going. Collation buffers. I think actually buffers, yeah, it's interesting. So I mean, whenever I use this struct, it's always this, it's just the one collation buffers. So technically I guess I could just call it collation buffers. And then when I actually, well, hang on a minute. Nah, let's stick with just buffers. So this includes, is going to be includes for the player. And this is going to be includes for the index, I guess. So yeah, includes for the player. Then we use player script. Title. I mean, both could use a title. And then let's have an includes for the, yeah, for the index. Let's have an index buffer as well. Do we need that yet? I guess I don't, but I will do at some point. What's the other thing actually? Template packing. Okay, that seems fine. We'll just play a script. But it'd actually be nice if I put these guys first. I mean, not that it really matters, honestly. So yeah, include index and includes player. So it's basically from here on, wherever I see it includes, it should be includes player. Oops, what? Pattern not found. Why? Seriously? So from there to there. That's how. Isn't that how you do it? Try this again. Okay, includes player. Yeah. It's kind of interesting that. Ah, right. Yes, the include isn't actually. Yeah, it's not thingamajig there. So the includes tag. No, let's not replace that. So yeah, I think that's still working. So when let me just go back through those actually. So it includes player. When use player script filter. Yeah. This doesn't need to be all like this. Because it's only working on these guys. Yeah, there's no master here either, which is kind of interesting. This sort of suggests that we don't really care about the tree structure anymore, doesn't it? Let's just continue anyway. Let's claim our buffer for the includes index. Let's make it kilobytes. I mean, this would be smaller. This would be, because it's only the it's literally going to only have the CSS file in this, I think. Pretty sure I'm right about that. Howdy, Crofer. How's it hanging? Scripts, index. Oops. 8K. So yeah, this is something I'm going to have to keep an eye on actually, just to make sure that we're not blowing up that. I think I'm right. It's hanging a little bit to the right. A little bit to the right sounds good. That sounds like a net win to me. I'm alright, yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to playing a bit more Absolver, because I got that yesterday. Played about maybe an hour, half an hour or an hour or so, and I'm really, really intrigued by it. So yeah, looking forward to playing some more of that. But it's not includes script; it includes index. Pretty sure that's the order that I put them in. Yeah. Evening, Brian. How do you guys know if there'll be a fucking appeal this month? I didn't quite, and I've already asked him fucking, but no one responded. Didn't Alan say something about? Didn't he say something about there being variable releases? Like he's not necessarily going to stick to monthly monthly work on 4Coder or something. So I'm not sure if there's any like generally known stuff. I think Imagine was getting that itch.io. Oh, I don't know about the itch.io page. Is that for 4Coder? That sounds interesting. I guess you'd have to ask Alan, maybe. Not sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, the only information I know is that he's going to do a less regular release thing. So it includes index and includes player. That's how you pay just for a bill. Ah, right. Interesting. So yeah, include index and index. I suppose, I mean, technically, now that I've got this buffer, I might as well just stuff the index into it. Mightn't I? What I'm basically talking about here is instead of having this this is interesting. So I was going to great length to compute how much size I needed. Oops. Yeah, if I got a false. This integrated is completely bogus, at least at this position. Next page path is there. So I'm inclined to say, rather than using the an index page and claiming a buffer for that, we're just going to use the collation buffers index. Alright, yeah, index.point is something else, isn't it? Which I guess is fine, that's disambiguated from the collation buffers index. So, yeah, unfortunately I can't quite. Well, actually, I suppose what I could do, remove that first, and then do the collation buffers. And then I can do that. And there we have it. Declaim buffers. I don't want to be declaiming that here, because that later gets declaimed by the dude. So let's just double check that I haven't done anything too crazy here. Yeah, total claimed memory is still fine. So the index has been used 0. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It includes index. It includes player. So we're not writing into the includes index just yet. But that index I was just writing into, wasn't I? Pretty sure I was. Copy buffer, collation buffers index. So copy string to buffer, collation buffers dot index. Oh, we won't have entered this bit because we've still got the index. We actually need to be able to build the index. Well, buffer collation. Buffer collation happens in a different function, doesn't it? Mind you, yes, we do the collation, and then this. So that declaim of the master happens inside somebody else, and I'm sort of aware that this is not being used correctly. The index, though, surprises me, because when I get down to here, there should be stuff in the collations buffer. What? Oh, right. That's interesting. So have I just not written into it correctly or something? Yo, dude. What's going on? So yeah, yo, dude, what's going on? And there's nothing in it, apparently. Collation buffers. Index. So I've claimed 8k for it. This is a collation to buffer, so what happens if I try and... Oh, I've lost the thing. What if I try and printf the thing here? Ah, I'm not passing the by index. It's by thingamajig. So I can't actually affect the collation buffers. That would help, wouldn't it, if I could do that? I think, is that how I do it? No. God. That's how you do it. So, did I leave the printf thing in there? I don't know if I did. Unfortunately. Well, it's after doing all of the copies into the... Yeah, it was here, wasn't it? Copy string to buffer. Oh, again, I haven't got the index. Or rather, I have got the index. There we go. That's more like it. Ah, so the index is too small. That is unfortunate. Plain buffer. 8K is too small, is it? No, that's probably not. That's probably not what's happening. What's probably happening is that the collation buffers doesn't start. The index isn't. The pointer isn't at the start of the index, basically. So I think this is the first copy string to buffers into the... No, it's not, is it? Oh, what's going on here? I've got a copy to buffers here. Oh, this is the closing DL. So this is the opening DL. So I reckon if I do collation buffers, point is equal to collation buffers location. I reckon if I... Well... Right. Collation. Yeah, that was the problem. So basically, whenever I was going through this, because I'm not declaiming it through the usual course of business, the index, well, I suppose because I'm not declaiming and then reclaiming it, the index pointer, the pointer into this buffer is never getting put back to the start of it. So yes, we have now at this point written into the collation buffers index, which means this is where our if will actually end up being here. It's like if mode, what is it? Config mode is equal to mode integrate or something. It's going to be basically that. So it's not going to be this up here. What's that? Fprintf predicted file, right? Yeah, I mean, I kind of say that because it's just a bare scope that doesn't. It's not actually a meaningful scope necessarily. I think that is, well, blimey. Okay, let's not quite do that then. Yeah, I think we probably will want to... What is this function again? This is build index, isn't it? Build index, yeah. Maybe buffers to HTML would be the person who does the integration. Maybe that would be saying. You know, like at this point, I'd then say, after having copied all that stuff into the index, and it's also not going to be this, it includes index. So we need to populate the includes index. Yeah, I haven't populated these collation buffers. Yeah, it does feel like this little section down here should be the responsibility of buffers to HTML, because they just take all the collation buffers and write them out. Yeah, but anyway, we've kind of done half of this. Well, write out the contents of that into a collation buffers index to condition fruit. So yeah, we've kind of done that part of it. We haven't got the notion of an index template yet. So let's just roll back and now do the actual paths. So at this point, this needs to have the include index. That needs to be populated with something. So let's just have a look at includes player, where that is being written into. So it's just that. This is interesting, actually. I think here we want to say this string is going to be a little bit different depending on whether we are integrating or not. Sorry, depending on whether we're in project mode or not. Yeah, I think this would make sense. see if this builds. Nope. Right. So if config mode is equal to mode. Oh, it's not mode actually, it's addition, isn't it? Is that correct? Yeah. So this is the case. When we're just including it into the single person. But in this case, we need to decrement the thing. I think that's correct. Just do another to do here. To do that. We may need to do some actual logic here to figure out. I think that makes sense. So essentially what that means is that instead of passing the paths like this, I pass them like this. And then because it will know that we are integrating, it will give us the correct path. Oh, and it's also going to be under test directory, isn't it? Yeah, so it has got the right path for this person. Correctly got that. And then if we go to the index, this should also potentially have, well, it doesn't. Probably because it hasn't regenerated the thing, I guess. So it did regenerate that, but it's got no dude. Oh, actually, hang on a second. If it's project, then we need to write into the player, and we also need to write into the include index at this point. That's where we do it, isn't it? Maybe. Oops. And then this person. would actually go to just here. Right, I think that's correct. And I will need to remove that index again. Can I accommodate that? Okay. So we made it a kilobyte. The other person is a kilobyte as well. The include index cannot accommodate 230 character string. So the only place that we're writing into it is here. Don't expect this to be correct. So going over the well actually hold on. The includes player. The includes player. So this person doesn't declaim it. It doesn't write to master either. Weird. So this does just declaim it there, and it does only claim it here. So what am I missing? Like when this Kind of interesting that there's more buffers up here. I mean, I suppose technically these little trees have served their purpose now, because I only used them to help me. Well, I only used them to basically realise that that it's like a stack-based memory claiming thing. Ah, so these guys all do set the guys up here. Because we're doing we're looping over multiple files. And each time we do that, the pointers would otherwise still be at their last place. Okay, so that's fine. At least I understand what's going on there. And that means I don't need to do that here anymore. Just remove the index. Write the stuff out. And there we go. So they're saying that the thing is at there. This is for the index file. Whereas one of these files have it a further one up. Okay, that's good. So I believe, I mean and this probably is the correct place to set the path as well, I guess it's a similar situation like with a lot of people checking for what things are, like whether we're in the addition or, checking the addition or checking whether we're integrating. But I think that's something that I could look at later. Once it's all working, I can just see if I can like compress that kind of stuff down a bit and basically just make it so not many people need to bother checking like over and over again like what addition you're in or whether we're integrating. So yeah, I believe we've done that. The thing we're not doing yet is integrating the index into a template. So how long have we been going for? Only 50 minutes. Well, just bear with me just a second. I'm just going to comfort break time. Comfort break. While I just and also mull over how this template packing stuff is going to happen. So I'm just going to go to the be right back screen. I will be right back. This is so true. How do I do this? Pretty sure it's the first quote. Let's see. Ah, it's not the first quote. The browser doesn't work in the stream. Tell me about it. Let me fix it, then we should still see my poop. So, yeah. Just to illustrate the point that this actually does work. Or to illustrate the whole reason for this thing in the first place. If I just say body background colour and just make this brown, obviously brown for poop. That should take on the colour, yeah it does. That is not brown, that is definitely red. What is disconcerting though is that the other things haven't. Oh, well hold on. Why is the player not being? So that's taken on the colour as well, which is definitely red. I guess this is because I guess all the paths are off by 1 actually, aren't they? Is that what's happening here? Let's just throw this into the server just to see how that deals with it. I like how rsync does them in order, but I'm pretty sure my guy still doesn't. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing, isn't it? I need to insert into the template, into the index. So kind of insert sort into the index. So we also need to send the send that file. Is that true? Well anyway. Test directory. So this is our index and it has taken on the thing. Ah. So that is trying to look in there. Oh. Ah, right. That's the problem. I just didn't do the right path for that guy. Still not brown. It's not, is it? So, HTML to C. There should be a JS one somewhere. Yeah, here it is. And the JavaScript is only on the player, so that's fine. Oh, this is conditional, isn't it? It's the same condition. The only difference is that in the project edition, we need to put this a path earlier. I think it's easy to do it this way, rather than doing like a ternary on this, because I think we'd have to do. We'd have to construct the path anyway. There we go. So that was the only problem. No, that's correct. The music, by the way, should just mention, just at this opportune moment, is Thundercats Full of Icon. Well, the entire album, The Golden Age of Apocalypse, which was released on this day 6 years ago. So yes, I think we're kind of happy that that is now working as we want it to work. Kind of handy that I actually checked that, because otherwise it would have been another thing that I would have potentially forgotten about, and it might have just kept on looking reasonable. Would it have done? I suppose it probably wouldn't, actually, honestly. Oops. So let's just pop that back into the server. And again, we've lost the thing because we haven't sent everybody up. There we go. So now it's got the path back in the server. I suppose technically, actually, while I'm here, like just for ease, I could sort of say, like, everybody in the body does like just a link to the index. Contents. Oh. What? Oh, this is not on the server. So it goes to the wrong place. Should go to that .index. Yeah. Ah, the oh, Jesus. Now that's incorrect. Of course, they're all going to end up being incorrect. So let's just fix that. The problem there is that the images directory, the path to the images directory, also needs to be correctly set. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, and that's not an include thing, is it? Ah, I don't think. Oh, right. It's like, yeah. This is getting a little bit janktastic because there's like multiple places here. That I just keep having to check. And it kind of begs the question, like, should the config contain the images directory relative to the project? Sorry, the images directory relative to the player, and the images directory relative to the contents page. It probably shouldn't really. Actually, hang on a minute. The filter menu only occurs. Oh yeah, it still does matter though, doesn't it? If we're in, it still does matter which mode we're in. Which edition? Sorry. There we go. What? That was another occurrence of that, is there? Damn. This isn't PNG. Oh. Jesus. So it's like the credentials, the support icon. God damn it. Hopefully this is the last time I need to do this. If if config edition equals edition project, oh, hold on. What exactly is this? This is the support URL, right? So that doesn't need to change. This is the image of source that needs to change. Who doesn't take the config? The credits menu. Search credentials. Doesn't take the config, apparently. Really? I mean, this is going to have to take the config eventually anyway. Oops. Oh. Oh, Bill Credits needs to take it now. Jesus. There we go. So all that just to get these guys. And it's not guaranteed that it still works in the old version either, honestly. But it does do. Okay. Yeah, so let's say that all those things are in reasonable shape now. Yeah, I mean, I suppose at some point I'm going to just look through, just looking for, sorry, config edition. I suppose I'm going to just go through looking for each of these guys. And just see if I can condense them. Yeah, because you can see there's quite a lot of times that happens. And maybe it'll all become clearer once we've kind of got the config file stuff going, I guess. And once we've got some actual usage code of like how we'd actually use it. I mean, it's possible that it won't change, and that this is just the way that just makes sense to do. But at the moment, it just feels a bit weird to be testing the same thing all over the place. But now that we've got that straightened out, if 0 and if that can go. So this is going to be in HRL to buffers, I guess. Oh no, this is main. Template. Right, yeah, so now actually Let's do the validate template thing first. So to explain what this is, validate template goes through the, it loads into, so let's listen to this particular song, I hope. So validate template, it loads the template in, and for some reason it's just got its own buffers, its own errors buffer. But it loads it in, and then it seeks through the file, looking for the tags, basically looking for these tags here. And it does some validation checking to make sure that they're all present and that certain ones are in the right order. And you can see the term contains more than one. Cinera player, that must come after that. That contains more than one of those. Post should be one of the includes, yeah. More than includes, more than one Cinera menus. So it does all of that stuff just to return 0, just to say that it's a valid template. Otherwise it's it returns its errors and returns 1. So wherever this is called, probably in HTML to buffers, isn't it? Oh, it's actually called, it's called in main actually. Yeah, so it's a valid template, it's called in main. But we will see that if you go to HTML to buffers, is this the right person? It might be buffers to HTML actually. Yeah, right. So then buffers to HTML, you see, it does exactly the same procedure. The only difference being that it doesn't check that that the thing is valid. Right. So it's doing the same thing. It's loading the template file in, which is perfectly fine. We do need the template file, but it is then iterating through character by character, looking for this thing and looking for all of these tags. Now, what I propose doing is making validate template actually pack the template data into like a struct. That buffers.html can use, and then instead of actually doing this whole loop, instead of seeking for the stuff itself, it just uses that data to like skip forwards to the places where it needs to actually insert the stuff. So the way that I reckon that should look we should have a file name. We should have an offset. And int for the tag type, I guess. Template tag. And I think we should also have like an int validity. So this guy will say this line code. It'd be like a bit mask describing first of all, whether it is valid or not. Well, I mean, it kind of, that kind of comes with it, but it describes which sort of a thing it can be used for. Contents page or player. Right. I think that's fair. So that would mean that we need an enum. Template tags. So let's have yeah, we've also separated these guys out now, haven't we? So it's like and we've also got the tag title, haven't we? This basically matches the collation buffers. It basically matches these. Right. So this struct will contain that, basically. So then I think we actually want to set these guys we might want to have a struct for the tags actually. Could I do that? Yeah, let's do a struct for the tags. Just to see how it goes. So a tag is going to be, it's going to have the tag type. So it's going to be the, I don't know, code. That's going to be the actual tag, I guess. So it's going to have one of those, it's going to have one of those. And it's going to have multiple offsets, which we don't know how many they're going to be. Likewise, the number of tags. And also, if we're going to roll those guys together, why don't we just roll the offset into the tag as well? File name can be separate. The validity is separate. We're going to need the same number of codes, tags, and offset. Let's put offset in there as well. Right. And then we can have like as many as we need. So let's just say there'll be 16 of them. There'll be one file name, one validity mask, and 16 possible tags. I mean, that kind of feels like it makes sense. So well, hang on a minute. The reason for putting the tags and the codes together is that I was going to try and initialize these guys in like the global scope. But do I need to do that? Because like the tag and the code were going to remain the same. Let me just show what I was kind of thinking. So it would be like the include tag. And that would be the code would be equal to the tag. Oh well, it's actually include index. Oops. And the tag will be equal to whatever this is. Oh, that's a point actually. No, we won't have. We don't care about having an include index. We just want to say. Yeah, we don't want that actually. Because that would mean that people would have to sort of say whether it was a thing or not. The people shouldn't have to sort of, in their template, they shouldn't need to say this is the includes for the index. We should figure that out for them. So they just need to say that it's the includes. So the code should be that, and the tag should look like that, basically. Does this make any sense at all? I wonder. So we don't know. Essentially what's going on here is this is going to be unrelated to this array of them. Maybe it's not appropriate to pull the offset. In the tag structure. Let me just think about how I'd actually want to pull this stuff out. Like when I go to build the thing, I would basically want to be chunk of memory. The encoded data. First, first I need to know the file name. Once we've got that, and basically at this point, the information that we want is, we want to know we want to stop. We want to know how much stuff we need to copy from the templates to the master before stopping to write out, before stopping to copy out. Stuff from one of the collation buffers. At that point, we want to know which buffer right. So basically, I'm thinking that the information that we actually put, so throughout our encoded data, so the encoded data within log will be file name, validity, and then it's going to be like pairs of data. It's going to be and which type of tag. Right, and then offset, which type of tag. Ad infinitum. How much? Offset which type of tag. So it's kind of like we would want actually an array of the of the tags. Well, I mean, it could be a struct actually. And these, yeah, because these are pairs. Yeah, it feels to me like I need to separate these guys out. Right. And then this would actually be like, no, tag bundle or something. Tag offset. Or they might not even need to be together. But then we'd have kind of like an array of tags actually. Yeah, an array of tags. Not quite sure if that's correct. Yeah, sorry, it's an array, isn't it? So that doesn't like that. Well, if I was doing it as an array, right, I'd just say something like this. We know that we only want there to be two things. Well, hold on. How do I do this for the reference information? Credential info. Here we go. So it needs to be, oh, just an array of them like that. Okay. Actually, might be more like that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm doing the right, trying the same thing again, aren't I? Declared here. Why should I just put it on Raspberry Pi? Well, I have Raspbian, which is a Debian-based distro. But I actually kind of think I'd like to install Arch on it, actually. And it looks dead easy to do. See if this will give it a tool. Raspberry Pi. Yeah. So this is what the instructions that I'd follow. But the one that I have is Raspbian, I believe it's called. Yeah. But yeah, this is the one that I've got. I honestly haven't really explored the Pi very much. I mean, it's currently just running. It's just running WeChat at the moment. But it's also running like XFCE, which is like a full-blown desktop environment. So it's kind of doing some totally redundant stuff because it's not even plugged into a monitor. So the way that I interface with it is through Mosh. So I don't see any graphical environment anyway. So I suppose I could just turn the XFC off. But then I have the thing I don't really know. I don't really understand. I'm not very familiar with Debian. So, whereas like I am familiar with Arch, and if this Raspberry Pi on it, the Arch based Raspberry Pi thing, if that's just basically like Arch, then I'd feel more at home with it, basically. Just an array of those. Maybe this would actually be fine, maybe. Maybe that would be the reasonable way of doing it. And then this would be a tag offset. Tag offset. Oh, wait a second. I'm still not really using the tags array though, am I? I don't think. what was I saying? The encoded data will be the file name for the display and then the offset and which type of tag. And the thing that I want to be tag. Ah, tag code. Would that be what I want actually? So I'll send the tag code. In which case we just go back to the enum. Well, hold on. Tags. So this person could take the tags array. Maybe this is the right way to go about it. It's totally possible it's not in the slightest. So I mean the only reason for this enum is to save, well, the only reason for this tags array of struct is to save me having to like store the entire string in this offset, you know, in this tag offset thing. Ah. Which does suggest, doesn't it, that rather than it being an actual tag, we just store the tag code, because we don't want to be having to iterate past an entire struct's worth of stuff. What did I call it? Oh, template tags. So it's literally just the offset and the tag code. The tag code will be one of these, and then when we go to pull the stuff out, we just need to look for this. Why do they not have underscores at the end of them? That's what the tag should look like. Oh, they do down here. So where did that get lost? Tags. That's interesting. I wonder. Let's just try this. Just make this take the tags. And then the calling site needs to actually pass the tags to them. Hopefully that's available to it. And it's also an array of tags, isn't it? So then rather than going the includes tags, then say tags. How do I get this now? Let's just can't remember how I should do this. I'll definitely do this at some point. What's that? In function validate template segmentation fault. Account. Please submit a full bug report. Okay, so I'm clearly doing this but incorrectly. How does build reference work? Takes the references array. Takes that. I'm sure there's somebody where where I need to loop over the references array. Search credentials. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Array count on the credentials. So this is the loop that I want, basically. So why doesn't it like this, I wonder? The size of credentials. Like, if I just change this to be the credentials, well, it's actually going to be the other way around, isn't it? What's in the credentials? Credential info, so yeah, just say the username, let's say. So that is fine. Apparently. What is it? Tag, so it's coded tag, right, tag, okay, fine. Is it literally just because of that? Interesting. I don't know why that would cause it to crash. Oh, they put the wrong guy. Yeah, and then here again, now we're back to this situation. These raspberry Meyers, this space was brutal. Sounds like a fine choice. Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it? It was tags. The return size of tag star. Brutal. Computer's brutal. I suppose I need to figure out how that credentials thing is getting passed to people. Ah, it's not, is it? Right. It isn't getting passed to people. Probably. Yeah, right. So he's not getting passed here. So that's the problem. So I don't need to pass that like that. That's what I want. Right, thank God for that. Blimey. So where's the print surface? Right, yeah. So it's this, isn't it? So I was basically sort of saying, I was wanting to say, so we've got the includes tag here. The includes tag is being tested against here. Ah, that's interesting. This is if and else ifs. Else if. Right. Yeah, so probably need to just change how this actually works. So if we hit that, we want to go back. And we want to say, we want to loop over do I still need this, I wonder? Guess I probably do, maybe. Let's just see what happens if I mean, I'm pretty sure we are building an actual thing here. Yeah. Let me just try removing that scope. Template must include what? Okay. Alright, so it's obviously needed for something. Over a minute. Gosh. Yeah, a minute and almost 20. Gosh. An eternity. You have an M2. Wow. Really? Okay. How big is it? If you don't mind me asking, if that's not such a personal question. I feel like this loop needs to be looping over the tags. Yeah. This feels like what I need to do. Starting the for loop. Well, would that be correct? I wonder if I should commit actually, just before I do this change, because we have got some stuff going on here. Where's that being printed off? Oh, here. Physical result storage 256. Ah. Yeah. Where's dimensions? Yeah, I was talking about the data storage size. Let's just commit it. Worth generate a full project. Right. Yeah, so this is the big one. For int I. Array count. Well, hang on, it's this, isn't it? Right, so I think that should be sort of sane, I think. Will it? For that, if the tag found the thing tag. Oh, what? Okay. And then we want to switch on the tags I thing, don't we? Code. I can never remember how to do the switch, but I think it's something like this. Oops. Wow, really? How did you switches? That. What is the problem here? So it should be like that, and then one of those, and then the case. Case something, colon. Ah. Okay. Okay. Starting the for loops, so we're going to go through. So let's go through them in order. If we're not forcing integration and we've already found includes, then we want to do the error if includes true. And then do that, and then break, and then break out of the case. So yeah, that seems reasonable, I think. Yeah, I reckon that's just it, isn't it? So let's do our other cases. So what have we got? Tag index. So index includes menus, player, script title. So we haven't done the index yet. Yeah, just do it like that, don't we? Tag index, tag includes. So we want the tag menu, tag player, tag script title. And then it's if they don't, then we do the else case. Okay. So here we go. We've done this, done that one. We now want to say the title. Well, we don't need to validate this, do we? We just need to while loop it. Apparently. Wait. Shouldn't this... Oh, this is invalidating, yeah, right. Yes, so we will need to go back and actually do the stuff, won't we? So this is now going to the menus. This is the player. And then finally the script. Kind of finally. Because we need the final case. So that was... Hang on a minute. This might be slightly busted. So we've got into this situation here. That equals that. If strings don't do with a tag. Switch on the tag. We've done the template. The problem is, if that was going to match on the closing thing, we need a way out of it. Well, I've got to be honest with you, I did not expect that to work in the slightest. So not only did it build, it actually worked. Which is kind of terrifying. There's no case for the index. Options above the errors. I know. Does it cross a bit? They've got to be there somewhere, haven't they? Really? Yeah, so there's no index thing. I guess technically there could be as many indexes as they want, really. I mean, it wouldn't really make sense for a page, but it wouldn't be invalid to have more than one index somewhere on the page. So I reckoned that all would happen in that case is this, in terms of error checking it. Oh, that's interesting actually. I wonder if that's just given me a quick way to, and also I'm just thinking here, this could actually be pulled from the tags array. But I wonder if that was just a nice quick way of adding new tags. Actually, unless, well, I suppose it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because basically all this means is that I can now do this, and it won't actually do anything. I don't think. It also won't. It won't warn me if I've spelled index wrong, because it'll just ignore it. Oh, and also this is only the validation side of it. It's not. It's still not writing out any of the stuff. I suppose actually, if we do see the tag index, we could actually just print f. Yeah, we found the index tag at least. Seriously, dude, get on Streamlink. We found the index tag at least, yeah. So the whole point of that was to set us up for actually sort of building up this template stuff, the template data. Yeah, so validate template, file name, buffer template, config. Does the config contain the file name? I wonder. I shouldn't have gone like that. I should have gone like this. Template location. No. So it would have to be past the stuff. Who calls validate template? Oh, it's main, isn't it? Yeah, so main would have to pass the file name to it. But we don't know, do we? Hang on a second. Which file name are we talking about here? We're talking about the templates file name, which is in the config. It is in the config, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, the template location, right? Yeah. I mean, we still only got the one template, haven't we? Like, we can only configure one template. Yeah, we only need two, don't we? So it's like the template player location and the template index location. Well, you need another setting for the template index location. I mean, we are kind of stretching the flags a bit here. Like, it's going to be so much easier once we've actually got the config file going. I suppose case X for the index template, I guess. I think there might be. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I believe Interfaro has managed to somehow get something going like that. I think you need to use like a VPN or VPS, whatever they're called. And then I'll put this at the end inside. So it's it's just the same as this. So let me just see if that does anything at all. Index template location. Yeah, that's null. Okie dokie. So let's just set that, I guess. Default template. Template. Player. Okay, well, hang on. Template. Have I actually changed it? Template location. Is that okay? Template index location. Which way around did I put them in the config? I mean, I know it totally doesn't matter. Oh, it's X, wasn't it? Yeah. I guess we could sort of say, well, I don't want to say index.html. Oh, wow. Okay. I suppose that means we need to copy template.html to template play.html. And then we need another includes for the dude. Another template, sorry, for the the default index. So include, so I don't need the menus or the player or the script. Or I don't need to set the title either, really. And also the contents, we're going to be on the content anyway, so I don't need to set that. So maybe that will be fine. We get a VPN, VPS. Petition the RCD admins to enable cloaking. I'll talk to you and see if we can set you up with something. It's like a Game of Thrones character. Maybe he is. Is he the admin? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Let's have a quick look at this, because I wouldn't mind setting this on myself, actually. Oh, hang on a minute. Do you mean it isn't super hard to set up for the admins? There's much of a change in this. The M-clicking module is loaded. Interesting, that does look easy. Because that has been an issue for some people. That, like, I seem to remember folks in probably Handmade Hero Twitch chat sort of asking about cloaking, and they were like, they're not going to join the Handmade Network IRC if cloaking isn't enabled. So yeah, I mean, I guess if we don't move to Matrix anytime soon, I suppose we get see if we can get Effector to enable cloaking. So that's our title. And obviously we're not using the template yet because we're not doing the integrate path on the index. File name validity. Tag offset tag. Yeah, so we will need to set some validity cases, aren't we? Basically, I'm thinking that the index page will only need to contain the Cinera index. And the includes, actually. It should include both of those. The player has to contain these guys. Title doesn't affect anything. That can go anywhere. And these have their own bits of logic, like what's allowed and what's not. But then if all of these are present and these guys are in the same order, these guys are in the correct order for the player, then that would also make for a valid template, which would be like a player page, which also happens to include the index. I think that would be alright. I mean, it would be a bit weird, but it wouldn't make for an invalid template necessarily. So yeah, I'm essentially sort of again winding down slowly here. Partly because I've still got Absolver in my mind. I just want to play that. But I do think that we've got ourselves set up in a bit of a better situation here. Probably. Let me actually just see if that is true before I do. If I do more than one includes, will the thing fail? No, it won't. So we're not forcing integration. Wrong template file. Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is still working. And if I do the script before the player, that should fail. Yeah. Alright, cool. So at least that's still working. We haven't broken anything there. I suppose one thing I could check actually is, this is some random comment. How does this affect it? If at all. Let's just pop a few of them around. Yeah, so they just, oh, hang on. Yeah, Cinera index. That shouldn't be being set, should it? If we get the Cinera index. Hang on. Cinera index. We found an index tag. Am I just not correctly getting out of this situation? Maybe... it'll be on the writing out side of it. That'll be it. That's what's happening there. The writing output side of it doesn't know about all of this stuff yet. Yeah, so I think we are okay still. And by the writing outside, I mean this. Like all of this stuff. So there we see again. We've got, these are the old tags in cars. So we'd need to change. Well, I mean, this whole thing actually will need to change to actually use the new data once we make the new data. But yeah, I think for now I'm going to call it. Still slightly peeved that we've got so many. Well, we've got like a while here. We've got the same while loop in here, and then we've got the for. I mean, this for loop isn't so bad because it's only looping over the tags. But maybe this is fine. So we only enter this loop, this if we find an exclamation mark, and then we do this. So yeah, maybe it's fine. We should have replaced up to here, and indeed we have. Got to give the Egyptians more for their money. God, what on earth did I say? The loops. So many while loops. Winding down. The pyramid. Oh, right. I see. I know, right? What is that to do with? That's the switch, okay. I do quite like this now, actually. Now that we're actually switching on. We're switching on codes as opposed to kind of doing if this string differs for each individual person. I quite like that. I like how this works now. Yeah, I guess to do for next time is going to be, for all of these cases, pack up the data. Pack up this data for HTML to buffers to use, or whatever it is, buffers to HTML probably. And also, like, this is exactly the same stuff, isn't it? All this is doing is escaping out of comments. Pyramid escape. I'm going to do this just for the hell of it, right? Escape comments. I mean, technically, I guess escape comment isn't quite the right thing. but it just needs to take right. And this has already come in by address, probably. So here again, we want to replace this with that. I think it was there. It will be unfortunate if this starts to fail, actually. But surely this will be okay. So, yeah, it does seem to be fine. Let's just do. Hang on a minute. What's the out integrated thing? Well, actually, honestly, just do a different file. Yeah, so it's still fine. There we go. Let's kind of clean that up a bit. Oh, and I was also thinking, wasn't I? See, I can't stop. I can't. Now that I've said I want to stop, I just can't do it. I also said I wanted to. Template contains more than. Cinera includes. Let's just see if this will work. Yep. So let's just do that. I mean, this is totally just nonsense, really. But we can do a bit of nonsense, can't we, from time to time? Template contains more than one, so it's the same error. Okay. So then the Cinera script. Ah, right. Okay. So if we've got a script, oh, that's unfortunate. If we've got a script, they can let's come after that. So yeah, I mean technically, I guess this is completely rubbish. I mean the only benefit of doing this really is in case it was to change what the tag was. You can maybe do case tag includes, case tag menus, etc. now. Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah, I probably could actually. I probably could do that. No, I couldn't. Because well, I mean, maybe I'd have to figure out how to change this, but they do this differently. Found includes is equal to true. Found menus is equal to true. But there may be a way to actually compress that stuff down. Sometimes the repeaters are more clever than the repeaters. Yeah. I think other than this though, everything else would be the same. You know, like if this, you know, to make a valid player template, it can only contain one of those. It can only contain one of these, and one of these, and also one of these. In this case, you could have bool found tag count and do it in a more generic way. Ah, flags tag includes. Interesting. So, put Mr. Star and a semicolon. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make a note of both of these suggestions. Um, and then while I'm doing that, while I'm doing the actual packing up the stuff, I'll see if the stuff can still be genericized. And then if it can, I'll use one of these suggestions. But if it can't, I mean, like off the top of my head, I think they probably will be able to be made generic, because literally all it's going to be is the offset and the tags I code. That's literally going to be it. But there may be, as ever, there may be something that I've not anticipated. So I think, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note of these, both of these dudes. Right, yeah. Bool found tag count. Very easy. So that was from Asaf. And then we had, oops. This sort of thing. From Tavares. So potential ways to genericize this. Potential ways. To compress these cases. Sabul found tag counts. Hang on a minute. Because we've got tags I. So for I, we said we found. Yeah, and then if we found that tag counts. Yeah, that is interesting. And then the flags one. Got array of ints. Flags. Tag includes. So got an array. Okay, yeah. It includes menus. Tags did I code? I think on the face of it, I can sort of see how this one would work. But I think I'd have to think a bit more about as to how this one works. That's tag includes tag menus equal to that. In flags. Yeah. Yes, I'll leave these till next time. But yeah, an hour later, pretty sure it was about an hour ago that I was sort of wrapping up. I think we've made progress. We've got ourselves in a bit of a better situation as to what we want to do. I mean, we've basically done almost nothing, honestly, but we have come to a better understanding of the stuff. And I believe tomorrow we can just go ahead and do it. And that doing is packing up this data for the buffer HTML to use. Here we go. It creates an array of pointers to the balls you already have up front. Those dudes up there. Then in the generic bit, sets the appropriate one indirectly by that array. Interesting. Yeah, array of pointers to the balls you already have up front. Oh, I see. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'll keep this around, and we'll surely get to it on the next episode. And yeah, with a bit of luck, we will have completed it. But I mean, it's going to be completed eventually. It doesn't really matter necessarily when. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, yeah. Now it is definitely time to eat, and then to absolve. So thank you very much, heroes and heroines, for being here, for being heroic, for being absolutely helpful and inspiring, and generally all around beautiful. And for what else do we get for basically urging it to work, for urging it to build and work on the first try. uh, until next time, farewell for now.